12 Pakao have passed their preparation lesson from yesterday. At 4 p.m., it will be the first time for the newcomers to join the ranks of the monastic members for Nam Pana. Nam Pana is a refreshment that is brewed according to the Vinaya. To relieve the monks and novices from the exhaustion of monastic work, Nam Pana is permitted for consumption in the afternoon. Then the children and Pra Ajan help one another tidy up after the Nampana session. Sayenasana means dwelling or residence for the monks. This may also include a building, cave, or even under a tree. Keeping the Sayenasana tidy at all times is a primary duty of a Buddhist monk. Pra Ajan divided the children into groups. He assigned the groups for cleaning duty at designated areas: the stone cave, stone stupa, and the roundabout. The boys were eager to help. Some were even willing to work with bare feet. Cleaning the monastery is not only for hygienic purpose. It helps with controlling one's mind and body. Exercise and social skills are another benefit that come with the cleaning duty. The kids are gathering at the hall to get ready for the evening chant. Today's evening chant started with meditation. The children chant along with the senior monks.
Now let us pay preliminary homage to the Buddha. Homage to the blessed, noble, and perfectly enlightened one. Homage to the blessed, noble, and perfectly enlightened one. Homage to the blessed, noble, and perfectly enlightened one.
Luang Ta Anek planned to spend time with the kids after the evening chant.
เราตั้งใจฟังครูบาอาจารย์กำลังเอาความดีให้เรากำลังบอกทางแห่งความดีให้เราได้ดำเนินตามเราจะเข้าถึงความดีด้วยความรู้จักความดีและเราจะทำตามที่ครูบาอาจารย์บอกและเราเข้าใจเรารู้จักความดีมันก็อยู่ที่นั่นก็ความดีความงามก็เกิดขึ้นอันนี้เป็นจิตเบื้องต้นนะลูกหลานนะเป็นจิตเบื้องต้นจะมาจากจังหวัดไหนประเทศไหนชาติภาษาไหนไม่สำคัญที่เรามาทำเหมือนกันเราจะเป็นคนดีเหมือนกันเราจะทำดีให้ได้เหมือนกันอันนี้ไม่ได้ต่างกันเลย
Listen to your teacher when they teach you to be good. So you should follow his instruction because all the teacher teaches is all good, all the things that will make us happy, make us beautiful in the beginning, in the middle, and in the end. So it doesn't matter whether you are come from which country, which language do you speak, but we can all become a good person here together.
Later in the evening, พระอาจารย์ allowed Andrew to come and talk to the boys about their experiences that day.
What was the good thing that you learned from Bintabat? I'd like to know. Who'd like to? Artie, tell me.
I just saw that when I go walk Winterbat the first time, my leg was tired and I couldn't walk, but the second time it was not tired anymore.
Trevor, what were the villagers like when you collected food from them?
Very nice.
Andrew asked the kids to revise today's activities. He explained to them that the activity was meant to reinforce their resilience and concentration. Then they joined together in a walking meditation. It took some time for the new Bakao to fall into serenity. After the walking meditation, Andrew continued the conversation with the boys.
Now, do you feel better for doing that? What?
When we walk, we concentrate on our feet and on our breathing and like how our feet is moving and how we shift weight. And the concentration makes me really calm and makes you like stay with the present, and I don't really sidetrack on my thoughts a lot.
Good. Yes.
I think it's better than sitting meditation.
Why?
Because you don't get cramps.
Guys, you get cramps. You might step on something. You might step on a snake though, or something like that, right?
Yeah, but you get to move yourself while being calm.
You get to move.
So like, so
Pay attention, guys.
there's movement. So it's not a still action, but calm is a still action. So it contrasts.
Yeah, it's very calming. Would anyone like to tell us about their book or not?
Some have already written down their experiences in their self-decorated notebooks.
Okay, Benno, show us your book. Okay, show everyone the cover. And can you explain it to us?
I peeled it off because I'm gonna make it again.
Okay, what is it? Would you like to read it for us?
So, day one of Bab holding, or sin holding. So we were taking the document for the first time when we joined this program. We also learned how to grab properly and change sitting positions politely so we don't point our feet at the monks and Buddhas. Also, we are learning the Buddha teachings. After that, we practiced the chants. We also learned Anchali Vanta Abhivat.
Before the end of the conversation, Andrew asked the children to revise the goals of their monastic life, the purpose that led them to this very remote part of the kingdom. The boys then reflected on their own experiences together.
Very quickly, very quickly. What is learn? What's learning about?
Learning is about study.
Keep going.
And studying makes knowledge, and you can study in many ways.
What about living? Living together. What are you learning about living together?
We can make new friends.
Good. What else?
You
Leo.
can make relationship with other people.
Good. Yeah. What else, Vincent?
We can love each other.
What about love? This is love for who? Love for mom, love for dad, love for grandparents, love for teacher, love for yourself. 5 points for JL. The most important thing is love for yourself. You've got to love yourself before you can love anybody else.
The lesson has just begun. The 12 newcomers still have a long way to go to learn the knowledge of the Buddha.
Everything happens and dies away. So
Everything lives and dies and changes, right?
Nothing will stay forever. Everything that comes must go. So we must learn to let go.
Yang kinchi, samutthayathammang, sapandang, nirodhathammanti. Whatever has the nature of arising has the nature of ceasing. Part of the first teaching of the Buddha, this text reflects the true nature of the world, which is one of the main contexts of Buddhism. "12 foreign boys gradually immerse themselves into the profound nature of Buddhist doctrine. The third morning of the 12 children began with a routine chant before dawn. Although the time for meditation was set for 5 a.m., some were ahead of schedule. Every day, all the children start the day with meditation and practicing mindfulness before the morning chant with Pra Ajahn. The morning chant started with paying respects to the triple gems, comprised of the Buddha, the Dhamma, the teaching, and the Sangha, the monks. The children were closely looked after by Pra Ajahn during the morning chant. After the morning chant, Pra Ajahn demonstrated the proper way to wash the bowl with clean water before the alms round. Gok Pa means filling the bowl with clean water. The purpose is to clean out any dust and insects that may be trapped inside the bowl. Accidental consumption of insects would be considered as a breach of the precepts. This morning, Pra Ajahn divided all the children into 2 main routes for the alms round. The first route stretches as far as the commercial district, on the other side of the main road. other was near the local community of Wat Ba Sai Ngam. Both routes are filled with faithful Buddhists who got up early to make merit before starting the day. They enthusiastically lent their hands to Pra Ajahn during the almsgiving. Apart from the food from the morning's merit, a special cuisine and sweets were prepared for the boys. Such a gesture by the locals signifies their warm welcome. Andrew and Jack also brought food for the morning alms. On the way back to the temple, some children were asking for permission to carry Pra Ajah's alms. After a few days of observation, the boys are now eager to help wash the senior monks' feet. In many Asian cultures, feet are considered to be the lowest and the dirtiest part of the body. Therefore, washing feet is a good way to show your respect to the teachers. Most importantly, its aim is to detach oneself from the ego and encourage the value of selflessness. Pra Ajahn offered the lotus received from this morning's alms to the Buddha. The children and Jack helped out with sorting the food as usual. A variety of food was quickly arranged and sorted out by the laywomen and the children. It was then time for Jack to learn some Isan dialect from the laywomen.
แปลครับช่วยสอนภาษาอีสานให้ผมหน่อยได้ไหมครับ
ภาษาอีสาน
ครับ
ยายใจพูดภาษาอีสานให้ฟังหน่อย
ก็บอกแบบเฮานี่ล่ะ
แล้วเราแบบเฮา
แม่นเจ้ารู้เรื่องอยู่ไหมบ่
พูดเรื่องอยู่บอกภาษาอีสาน
รู้เรื่องไหม
ที่กำลังคุยอยู่ไม่รู้เรื่อง
นั่น
ค
แห
รับ
ละนั่นแหละนี่แหละภาษาอีสานนี่
Jack got on well, especially with some help from the boys who are fluent in the dialect.
ในถ้าผมจะอยากแนะนำตัวเป็นภาษาอีสานต้องบอกว่าอะไรครับ
แนะนำตัวเป็น
บอก
ภา
ว่า
ษา
คนชื่ออะไรชื่อแจ็ค
ผ
ใช่
ม
ไหม
ชื่อแจ็คครับ
ไปซื้อแจ็ค
อะไรนะครับ อะไรนะครับ
ข่อยชื่อแจ็คข่อยชื่อแจ็ค
นั่นแหละ
ข่อยแปลว่า
คอยชื่อแจ็คโบ
ว่า
ต้องบอกคอยชื่อแจ็คโบโอเค
After the sorting, there was an opportunity for the boys to get to know one another better.
rock, paper, scissors, unda. Rock, paper, scissors, unda. Rock, paper, scissors, unda. Rock, paper, scissors, unda.
While some preferred to read quietly. Throughout the morning, the children gradually learn the daily practices from Pra Ajan. Little by little, they're getting better on their own. These activities will be sure to equip the boys with the necessary skills to fully ordain as wonderful young novices in the days to come. By breakfast time, the boys were ready in the dining hall. Multiple heavy trays were not a problem for the young postulants, who were eager to assist with the offering. Today, Pra Ajan suggested to the children to observe the posture and the routine of the senior monks to prepare them for such a life after the ordination. The senior monks allowed the boys to carry their alms bowls back to their seats.
Can you stand on the red line of the mat? Readiness is shown from a person who stands still, holding your wrist, with your two eyes closed. Okay, Trevor, you're ready to go, please.
Today is different. The monks asked the children to be composed before allowing them to go and take their meals one by one.
Bin, he knows his quantity. He already knows his own quantity.
This is my quantity.
Okay, so you go.
While taking food, Pra Ajan reminded them to be mindful at all times. The food that should be taken should only be enough for one to eat, and they should refrain from overconsumption. Once they're done eating, the boys have to show the monks their bowls for inspection. For those with food left over, Pra Ajan taught them that consideration should be taken into account when taking food. The children then washed their own bowls and cutlery. Once they were done, the boys assisted the monks as they were taught. Situated above the pond, the 12 Bakao will receive their lesson in the pavilion for the first time. Along with Pra Ajan, they help with the cleanup. Today they will learn about Tudong. Tudong is the journey to purify oneself from defilement and to gain insight from solitude. Pra Ajan told stories about the journey and the adventure of the monks to the boys.
One type of Tudong is wandering around, wandering in the forest. Without money, no money, no food. You can't bring the food. You can't bring money. And then you just go by your bow and your tree roof. That's all. Or one umbrella and one mosquito net.
The camping ground at the cemetery was most interesting to the boys.
Go there.
Cemetery?
Yes. Yes.
That's just quick.
This is the good place because nobody wants to disturb you.
Cemetery is where you bury dead people.
Yeah, right.
Why would you go there?
Because the place is very quiet. Nobody want to go because you are scared over there. You are not go there to.
What if somebody passed by a cemetery and you just open your eyes?
Nobody will pass by.
He explained that one rule of thumb of Tudong is to never stay in one place longer than 15 days. Pra Ajan also used this opportunity to educate the kids with the knowledge of herbal medicine, which could come in handy in the dense forest.
You see the flower, the white flower, this is by sabse. Actually, this is the medicine.
Who is sabse?
If you cut, have a bleeding, you take this by sabse and put it, and they will. This is the good medicine.
The next chapter the children learned was the story of Naga, or Great Snake. The word Naga is used to refer to candidates for the monkhood.
Anybody see the Naga before? Huh? Oh, some of you. Naki. Oh, that's Naki. Okay, so Naki is a girl. Naka is a boy, right?
Pra Ajan told the children the story of Naga. There was a serpent who was very faithful in Buddhism. Unfortunately, he could not be ordained because he was not a human. In order to be qualified for ordination, the Naga changed his form into a human being and was ordained as a monk. At night, when he fell asleep, the Naga monk returned to his original form, a serpent. One day, a monk saw the Naga monk in his serpent form and told Lord Buddha. Lord Buddha questioned the Naga monk until he knew the truth and told him to leave.
So the Buddha called this Naga and then, is it true that you are the Naga? And then the Naga said, yes. Yeah. The Buddha said, why do you ordain? He said, I want to get enlightened. But the Buddha said that it's impossible for the Naga to get enlightened. Okay? Because the Naga is an animal. Okay? Who are we? We are human, right? We are humans. We special. We have a potential to enlighten, which is all the animal doesn't have. So even though the Naga, he wants to ordain, he become maybe a novice and a monk. As long as he try to practice, there's no way he can get enlightened.
The Naga regretted that he could no longer be a monk. He asked Lord Buddha to use his name in Buddhism so that anyone who would be ordained for the monkhood would be called Naga. The tradition remains until now. After Pra Ajan finished telling the legend of Naga, he went on to tell the story of the ordination of Prince Siddhartha.
You know the story of the prince when he born. You know the dream of the prince mother, Sri Maya. You know what did she dream of before?
An elephant, a white elephant.
She was standing beside Maya.
Yes.
And he said you just came out to meet me.
Okay, what kind of elephant?
It's like an elephant.
White, right?
Yeah.
White elephant
White
holding
elephant.
Before the morning session ended, พระอาจารย์ mentioned about the preparation for ordination. He told the children to recite for him the Ukasa chant, which will be used during the ordination ceremony.
Can you show me the chanting? Who will remember it already? No?
What chanting?
Part of it, maybe?
I know part of it.
Okay.
I only know two boxes of it.
Okay.
You mean the Ukasa one?
Uh-huh.
Ukasa one kami panche sapang apatang kamatame panche. Maya katang punyang samina anamu titapang. Samina katang punyang mayham titapang. Satu anamu tang.
Oh, great.
พระอาจารย์ told the children to chant the Ukasa together. Some could remember the chant accurately, while some could not do it quite accurately. A few could not remember the chant at all. Pra Ajahn ended the morning session by emphasizing that everyone needed to pay serious attention to the practice because the scheduled date of the ordination is coming closer. In the afternoon, it was time for a learning process session for the boys. Tamasak Lupuwa Pitakun, a Thai artist and organic farmer, met the soon-to-be novices again at the sala in the middle of the pond. Today, the place for learning was different from other days. To begin today's activity, Tamasak introduced the 12 children to observe themselves through their own eyes, using available tools and their unlimited imagination.
So what you do is you set the mirror in front of you.
Wait.
And then put it in the right angle that you can see yourself clearly. And then you start drawing yourself. And you guys can start drawing now.
Each kid looked at his own face carefully in the reflection in the mirror before beginning to draw what they saw. Tamasak provided instructions and advice to each of them closely.
You look at the mirror first. What do you see?
I made a mistake. I see myself.
You see yourself. Now you look thoroughly. You look carefully. Look at your eyes, your nose, your mouth. And you have to draw something that is skewed. It doesn't have to be like so realistic. This is okay if you see yourself like that.
Some children used their imagination, together with what they had seen in Wat Pa Saingam, in drawing the pictures. After allowing an appropriate amount of time, Tamasak sent a signal to the 12 children to change the drawing board and gave them their next assignment.
Okay, close your eyes, everybody. Close your eyes and listen to me. Okay, I want you all to think of somebody. When you think of something. Who is that person? The person inside you. Who is that? Okay, think of that person, the person you trust, the person inside you that you trust. It can be yourself, it can be anyone. Okay? Anyone has a question?
Nope.
Okay, start drawing right now.
The children closed their eyes, thinking of what they were seeing in their head, and then started to draw it out. They were trying to express what was inside. After all the children finished their drawings, Tomasak allowed each one to explain their drawing, starting with the drawing of their own reflection.
This is me. I haven't finished it. I haven't painted the clothes and all that thing and the trees at the back. I did these because it's the bars there.
Oh, you saw that in the mirror as well?
Yeah.
Okay.
This is a picture of me, and I copied the statue.
The statue up here?
Yes.
Oh.
But they say they're walking to a temple, but instead I said I'm walking into dead meat, and I'm dead.
So one side is normal me and one side is when I'm a monk.
Okay. Oh, okay.
So I like to think I have shining hair.
Uh-huh.
So I made it with paint.
Okay, so you use paints to make it shiny.
But for monks, I don't have hair anymore. But I think monks have like this special aura.
Okay.
So I made the skin kind of golden.
Okay.
Then the kids explained the drawing of what they saw when they closed their eyes. Each kid saw things inside them differently. Some saw people who were close to them. Some saw people they remembered.
And that person is?
My mom.
Your mom. Why?
Because my mom taught me anything I wanted to learn.
Okay. So whatever you want to learn, your mom just gonna inspire you that, gonna teach you that?
She taught me how to wash my dishes and how to mop the floor.
Okay. This person pops up. Who's that?
It's my friend.
It's your friend. Who is your friend? What's his name?
His name is Nawin.
Nawin. Wow. Why is it him?
Because I think I thought of him.
You thought of him?
Yes.
Some saw animals which shared similar characteristics with them.
Goldfish and like that. The same idea is I like to swim and goldfish like to swim, so we
you're
are
the same. All right.
Her name is Betty. She's in an animation.
She's in an animation.
Yeah.
And why is it her?
Because she's my favorite character.
She's your favorite. What makes she so special for you?
In that animation, they use soul to represent every person.
Soul.
Yeah, and her soul was determination, so it was kind of like me because if I want to do something, I'm kind of determined to do it.
Some drew what came from their own imagination.
An animal.
An animal. What kind of animal is that?
A bunny.
And this bunny always come in your mind when you close your eyes?
Yeah.
When you need help?
Yeah.
It helps you?
Yeah.
Help you think? What's so special?
So when I was sleeping last night, the first thing that popped into my mind, this animated bunny with a muffled nose, like a mouth that you'd expect from a bunny.
Yeah.
And black beady eyes. And then whenever it was sad, it would make this sound.
After all the children finished talking about their two drawings, Tomasak explained the value of this activity.
Have done a really, really good job. This session is about seeing yourself, your body, and your mind. The first one with the mirror is the picture you see is physically yourself. Okay, you might not see the real you, but you see the reflection of yourself. That's just the way you to look at yourself quickly. and then close your eyes. The first thing that pops up is really reflecting what you believe in, what you trust, who you trust, what kind of thing, the nature, the love of nature. It's just the thing you believe in, and that is going to reflect it you. So both sides equally, yourself, body and mind. This is how you learn yourself, okay?
Today's afternoon lesson was to encourage the children to practice and develop their observation skills as well as their thinking and analytical skills, which are necessary life skills for the future.